Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLMs, that's anti-multi-level marketing, and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am bringing you anti-MLM content, so of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. Today, I'm going to be talking about how it is possible for a rep to get terminated from a multi-level marketing company. The idea for this video kind of came as a little bit, it was kind of random. I have mentioned it here and there in certain videos. I've talked about how reps have told me that they've been terminated or that they heard someone was terminated, but I never made a designated video for this topic, diving into certain terms and conditions and looking at multiple different MLM companies, because this is something that happens more frequently than I originally had thought, and it's possible. The reason why I so badly wanted to focus on this is because these reps are constantly talking about how they're small business owners and they're the CEOs of their own company and things like that. You're not. You're really truly not, because I will not get terminated from my own business. I make the rules. Also, I just realized I'm not wearing my rings today. Okay, that makes me feel really naked. Anyway, let's keep going with the video. An ex-rep that has been sending me information for, I want to say, the past several months, ever since 2020, I think summer of 2020. This ex-rep, who was part of different MLMs, keeping them anonymous, of course, but they were still in some of their MLMs, so they were able to give me more information, or they were able to give me information behind the scenes of certain things that were going on, such as people being terminated in these multi-level marketing companies. An example was, I spoke about this in a video, I believe in January of this year of 2020, about a Tori Bell rep that was terminated from Tori Bell. There was another Tori Bell rep that reached out to me, again, keeping them anonymous, who said that she too was terminated from the company and that she allegedly was not given her commissions. So there were commissions that she was owed, and allegedly she was not given those commissions. Of course, I don't know the reasons behind the company terminating these reps. Maybe there was a reason, but from what the one rep told me, because she personally spoke to me, from what the one rep told me, it seemed like there might have been, not necessarily not a reason, but yeah, it seemed like there was a little bit of a sketchy thing going on. But of course, I only know one side. I don't know the company's side of the story. This same rep who's been kind of giving me information over the past several months, she gave me information that there was recently a very high-ranking paparazzi rep that was terminated from the company. When I took a look at the post, which we're gonna take a look at the post as well, when I took a look at the post, I saw just how many people were commenting and saying, I was canceled too for no reason. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because there has to be, some of these people were saying there was no reason why. They have no idea why they were terminated. They were given absolutely no reason why their, I guess you could say, consultant account was canceled or terminated. They have no idea. A lot of these MLMs have terms and conditions that go over what you can and can't do in the company, which is another red flag to me that says you are not a small business owner. This is not your own business. But without further ado, let's get into this post by this rep. We're gonna read her post and we're gonna go through some of the comments. I took some of the comments out there that I thought were of substance, talking about this particular topic. There were other people, of course, that were saying, I'm so sorry, that kind of a thing. We're not gonna go through all of those comments because there were a ton of comments on this post. But this rep said, Paparazzi company is out of control. They state they want to empower women. What they fail to say is we want to empower you just as long as you do exactly what we say. Now that would seem easy, but when their policies are written in a way that they can bend them at any time they please, that's an issue. Is it empowering women to cancel them from a brand they have worked so hard on because they sell their children's Girl Scout cookies? Is it empowering women to run a company through fear and intimidation? The founders will say you better follow the rules or we will get rid of you, and they say they love you. Read the 30-page policies. Some policies are different in length, some are shorter, some are longer. Just FYI, I'm sure that's common sense, but just wanted to throw that in there. They do nothing to consultants who harass and bully others, yet micromanage the workers to the point to where you fear losing everything every day. No communication at all before just getting rid of you. This is not okay. It's not okay that they lie about their product and their brand. It's not okay that they stand on stage and preach about dreams and then warn you they have the power to take it all away if you screw up. I'm sorry, this is not empowerment. I agree. It's suppression through fear. There are hundreds of consultants just discarded like trash for not following the rules, not given any opportunity to say a word regarding the situation after they have spent thousands on paparazzi products. Read the 30-page policies. They can change at any time, by the way. Fact, I followed what was written. They are manipulating and liars, plain and simple. I think this post alone shows that this isn't your own business. It shows that you have absolutely no control over this business that you have, because I guess in a sense, if these reps really want to argue, because they'll say, oh, well, I get a 1099 and I have to pay taxes and stuff like that, and that the company calls them an independent contractor, whatever. If they want to argue that, okay, fine. But you are a business owner in all of the places that it hurts. You don't have any of the perks of being a business owner. You have no control over the products. You have no control over the pricing. You have no control over any of those types of things. If there's a sale that the company has, that's by the company. That's not by you. Or if, let's say that you decide that you want to change the pricing on something, we've done that before in both of our businesses. If you want to change the pricing on something, you can't do that. You have to abide by the company and what they say. So essentially, you're still working for somebody. Something to add to this discussion is the rep that's been sending me all of this information. She said that this rep that we just read the post from, she was the first Empire Diamond Access in Paparazzi. Check out the PV. And if we look at the PV actually says that it's at 300,000 PV. Every piece that is purchased within Paparazzi is equal to 2 PV. That's a lot of product. Let's read some of the comments that were left on this post. So this first one, it says, I fell for it because I was showed my upline's bank account and was told I could make that kind of money by selling the jewelry. Selling the jewelry, not by building a team. By buying thousands of pieces that never sold, but was lining the pockets of my upline. I was buying and buying and buying, getting further into debt while they were getting the trips and gifts and perks. Not a big shocker to me. It's a shame that they give people false hope. However, what I find very interesting is many of the consultants are now doing side selling of different products, and that seems to be okay. Personally, I think you got too big for them and they knew they could not control you, and well, you were just always very honest about everything. After what they did to you, I would be ashamed to be a consultant for them. I thank God I got out when I did. I will not ever work my butt off again to sit back and watch someone else get perks because of how much jewelry I buy to get them ahead. So I hope that that means you'll never join an MLM again, because that happens in every single MLM. You deserve all the praise for all you did for that company. After you telling your truth, I know of a couple people who have said no to signing up with them. These people were told to just not pay a monthly bill and buy a kit to sell instead. Who does that? Tell someone not to pay a household bill? I have so much to say about my experience with them, but I will hold my tongue. Instead, I will just sit back and watch you rise. Don't hold your tongue. Talk about it. Talk about your experience. The more people, and I'm not trying to force this person into talking because it's their story, it's their story to tell, but if you really want to talk about your experience with an MLM, go for it. Look at how many people have come out and talked about it on YouTube alone, on Instagram, on Reddit, on really any TikTok, really any social media platform, Facebook. Look at all of these people who have come out and talked about their experience. The more people that talk about their experiences with these shitty companies, the more that there's awareness out there for consumers and for people who are thinking to join these companies. Then there's this comment. I'm sorry this happened to you. It's happened to me as well. Canceled without asking your side of the story. Someone can send them a message stating what they claim to be facts and you're out of there. No questions asked. I'm truly grateful that I was canceled. The fear of overstepping our boundaries was always in the back of my mind. Consultants are a dime a dozen now, and I hope they all come to realize they are branded for paparazzi and paparazzi only. This is the same thing in every MLM. By the way, someone on my team was the one who reported me. Wow. I was canceled for having paparazzi people on my other business page. I was with them 4 years. Yes, I'm friends with everyone I've met through paparazzi, so yes, they are going to be in my new business page. That's really shitty that someone on her team, the team that she built, someone on that team, that just goes to show you that this sisterhood and we're always going to empower you, we're always going to back you up, blah, blah, blah. That just goes to show you that that's just BS. And I get it. If the rep saw that this other rep was doing something wrong, they reported it because that's what they're told to do. I get it. But really, this is why I hate MLMs. They canceled me. I was devastated. I went diamond in January and they booted me for something so stupid. It was unbelievable. I wonder what that reason was, because I'd be very interested to know what that something so stupid was. I really would be. I got canceled when I was an A-lister for something I did 10 months earlier, right after the founders hung out with me poolside in, I'm assuming that's Dominican Republic, right after I retired my husband from his job. There's the retiring. You're not actually retiring your husband. And I really don't like when these reps say, I retired my husband or I retired myself. And because you didn't retire, you're still working. Your husband is still working for your business, most likely. Not all the time, but most likely he's still working for your business. There's a couple that I reacted to. Well, I reacted to the wife in my Going for Broke with Paparazzi video. And her husband do this together. I don't know if he works for her, because if I remember correctly, the terms and conditions for paparazzi say that you can't have more than one person, more than one consultant per household. So he's probably working for her. He's not a consultant himself, unless if he is a consultant himself and they're breaking the rules. But anyway, save your time, save yourself the heartache. I put my heart and soul into this business for it to be ripped away from me with no way to explain my side. That's really sad that these reps just have everything taken away from them. Although I know that it's part of it. It's part of the MLM. It's part of their terms and conditions. I get it. But in my head, I think of this is just another mom. This is just another college student. This is just another person who was promised financial and time freedom who's just trying to make it. That's what I think of when I see these types of posts. And I know that some people are going to be like, Monica, you're being too soft on these people. And that's fine. We don't have to agree on the approach that I take or you take with these MLM reps. That's totally fine. But it sucks to hear these things, because the original rep that started this entire post, she's already in another MLM. She also has her own, I guess it's kind of like an online boutique at the same time, but she has that and she's in another MLM. So clearly she didn't really truly learn her lesson from the MLM industry, I guess you can say. It was just paparazzi that she has an issue with. Then there's this next person that said, I'm so glad I never got any higher than a director. They just canceled me without any questions asked. I feel like this, you have already paid them their money when you placed your order, so what is it to them? Also, why do they care what you sell it for? They have their money, it would be your loss. Right, bottom line is control. That's what they want, and losing top consultants in the process is crazy. The company is allowed to do that. It's in their terms and conditions, because this isn't her own business. This is their business. These independent consultants, these consultants, the paparazzi reps, whatever you want to call them, at the end of the day, yeah, they're at best independent contractors, but at the end of the day, they're just selling the product. They're just making the company money. And if these reps aren't abiding by their rules, the company has a right to terminate them or to cancel them. Then there was this one. I shared this to my page because I was canceled too. God knows I didn't know that me and my granddaughter could not use the same mailing address. Paparazzi wouldn't let me explain either. Another person says, they don't have the rights to control you that way. I had someone that I was buying paparazzi offer and they treated her awful. She misses it, but she moved on. I don't think that's right. Should be happy for what you were doing for them. They do have the rights to do this. They have every right to do this. This isn't the first time that Paparazzi has canceled their top highest ranking person. A few years after their start, they canceled the highest person at that time. I'm not going to name the name. I don't know the details. This happened to me all because someone said that something was said and I even showed proof, but I did no good and I bought thousands of dollars on buying paparazzi for my business, but now I'm my own boss with no rules. So I hope that the whole this person's their own boss with no rules, I hope that they started their own business and it's not an MLM, because you're not your own boss in an MLM. So that was the post. And funny enough, around the same time that I was talking to this rep, because this was a few weeks ago, at the same time that I was talking to this rep, anti-MLM Boss Babe posted this post on Instagram, and it says, it's not your business if you can be terminated by corporate office. Then it shows Monat, It Works, and Beachbody, the different terms of it saying that you can be terminated. And the caption says, typically a business owner, especially a small business owner without a corporate board, can't be fired. One of the advantages to owning your own business is that you are in control. With an MLM, you are not in control. True. The MLM can terminate you if they see fit. Often it's even in the contract you sign when you sign up to be in said MLM. I've put a few excerpts on the second picture from MLM contracts. Sorry guys, I'm having a hard time today. Or the MLM can shut down on you without prior notice. In a typical job setting, an employee would have protections in this case, or a small business would at least know if they're shutting down. True. We shut down our one business at the end of 2020. An MLM has neither of those because, again, it's not a small business. Too long didn't read. MLMers are not business owners. They can get fired at the MLM's will, which is true. And that's what we're going to talk about in the rest of this video. We're not going to go over every single part of the terms and conditions of these specific companies I'm going to show on the screen. I'm going to kind of talk about it while I leave it up on the screen. I'll also leave the terms and conditions linked in the description box below if you want to take a look at the rest of them on your own time. But the screenshots will be up on the screen, so if you want to go ahead and pause it at certain times, by all means go right ahead, but I'm not going to be reading through all of them. I'm kind of just going to be providing my commentary on top of them. So without further ado, let's dive into Paparazzi's terms and conditions first. Like I said, only a few that we're going to be going over. In section 2.3 of the Paparazzi agreement, this is a portion where it tells the MLM rep that this agreement can be amended at any time, and that by agreeing to these policies, they are agreeing to always check to see if it's been amended. If the rep does check and let's say they don't like the amended policies, they have 30 days from the publication date to let Paparazzi know that they want to terminate their consultant agreement. What I found really laughable as I was reading this agreement was earlier on it said, consultants shall not be entitled to any benefits accorded to the company's employees, including the pension plan contributions, workers' compensation, unemployment insurance, medical or disability insurance, vacation or sick pay. Then in section 3.4, under the consultant benefit portion, it talks about the benefits that the reps do get, which just makes me, I don't know if I want to laugh, if I want to get mad, if I want to rip my hair out, if I just want to roll my eyes, but here's what it says that their benefits include: the ability to purchase paparazzi accessories and products at wholesale price, the ability to retail paparazzi accessories with the intention of earning a retail profit from the sale thereof, the ability to hold house parties, larger parties, or promote larger shows under the paparazzi name as an independent consultant, the ability to participate in the paparazzi compensation plan, receive bonuses and commissions if eligible, the ability to sponsor other independent consultants, the ability to receive paparazzi training and communication, the ability to participate in paparazzi sponsored events, services, trainings, motivational functions, and recognition programs, the ability to participate in any promotional or incentive contests and programs sponsored by paparazzi for its consultants. Those don't really sound like benefits to me, but anyway. I find it kind of funny that Paparazzi just nonchalantly said in the beginning that reps don't get the same benefits as regular corporate employees, which is understandable. That's just how it is when it comes to MLMs. But notice how they do specify that there is a corporate office to Paparazzi. So how are you the CEO of your own company if you're essentially still working for someone else? But to then say that their benefits are that they can buy the jewelry at a discounted price, then possibly sell it, and that they have the ability to participate in the comp plan and sponsor other consultants, aka recruit, is just sad. Those aren't benefits, that's part of your job title. That would be like working in a corporate office, since a lot of these reps like to shit on those jobs, and telling someone that one of their benefits for their full-time around-the-clock job where they might not even get paid, that one of their benefits is talking on the phone with angry customers. Do you see where I'm getting at here? There is proof that you can get fired from Paparazzi in section 3.7. In order to keep your consultant status, you have to abide by the policies, have 200 PV of inventory within the previous 12 consecutive calendar months, and a few more things. But if you don't maintain all of this, your account will be terminated. If it's in whatever they deem good standing, then you can reapply, but it seems like Paparazzi might allegedly be very picky, especially because just reading these terms for the video, I read about things that aren't allowed that I've just seen some of their higher ups actually openly doing. Please explain to me how being a Paparazzi rep is like owning your own business. Not to mention that if you read through the entire document, there are lots of rules that these reps have to abide by. If this was your own business, you make your own policies and rules. Let's quickly glance over a few more companies to show proof that you can in fact be terminated from an MLM company. Of course, I already went over some examples of MLM companies stating that they will terminate people with the post by anti-MLM Boss Babe, but those included Monat, It Works, and Beachbody. Here are a few more examples. Q Sciences. If you remember from my Q Sciences video, I went over the terms very briefly because there was a section talking about how minors could work for Q Sciences along with a class action waiver that is part of their terms. Side note, Q Sciences isn't the only MLM that allows minors into their MLM with a parent or guardian. I made an entire video dedicated to that topic. However, they have an entire section dedicated to suspension or termination. This is listed under their suspension and termination of access, which is numbered 34. Just like Paparazzi and many other MLMs, Q Sciences also states under number 43 that they can change these terms and policies at any time and that you have to abide by them. Also, you have to keep up with it. Just another example of an MLM being able to terminate you is Herbalife. Under section 18 titled Termination Modification, they go over how if you violate the agreement, they can terminate you and may also be referred to law enforcement. In addition, once you're terminated, you have to destroy any documentation you've gotten from Herbalife. They even write, quote, "You are advised that we will aggressively enforce our rights to the fullest extent of the law," end quote. Oh, and in section 1, they state they can revise this agreement at any time. This just goes to show that this isn't what it's cracked up to be. Here are some more examples of these same policies showing that these reps can be terminated or the terms can be amended. We have Matilda Jane Clothing Company on page 14. I did a 3-part series on this MLM a few months ago and even went over how some reps are using their children to sell their products, which I think is a bit exploitative in my opinion, of course, but your opinion may differ. I'm also one of those people who isn't a fan of family vloggers. Another example is Nu Skin number 12, which is a fairly large MLM and has been around since 1984, so the company is slightly older than me. I did 2 deep dives into this company, and the most recent one, I corrected some things from my previous video and dove even deeper into the company, which just made the company look even worse than the original deep dive that I did, at least in my opinion. But number 24 on their terms says they can too update their terms at any time. Pure Romance even has this in their terms. I think we all get the point that this is not something that is uncommon. MLMs have the right to terminate you and change their terms. Once you sign on that dotted line, you agree to these terms. I know some people might argue that it's the rep's responsibility to read through these terms, and while yes, that's true, at the same time, the opportunity isn't presented in a way where one might think they really don't have any control over their so-called business. On a random side note, I just wanted to add this into this video because it was something that popped up recently. I was tagged in a post in my anti-MLM Facebook group, and it was something from Melaleuca that I found interesting. So I'm going to show you what that is, and then we're going to go over one of the comments from an ex-Melaleuca rep just to go over how weird this whole entire thing is. But here it shows the Melaleuca member benefits cancellation form. you have to get your spouse to actually sign this as well. A lot of people in the comment section were leaving gifs of Handmaid's Tale, and that's, I mean, yeah, kind of makes sense, but I was so confused by this because what? Like, why do you have to have your spouse's signature on the cancellation? But there was a former Melaleuca rep who commented and said, as a former Melaleuca Hunbot, it's because they make you sign up as a couple if you're married so you can encourage each other to reach financial freedom. And then you can't cancel it without the other person okaying it. Like, they'd rather you tear your marriage apart over it. LOL. It's awful. What kind of... what kind of ass backwards way of thinking is this? That you have to get your spouse to sign off on it. You have to get their approval to cancel your membership because they want you to sign up as a couple. And that ex-rep was right, that they'd rather you tear your marriage apart. This is why when MLMers, they say, oh, well, these anti-MLMers are so, and I've seen this said before, these anti-MLMers are so overdramatic and they talk about how it ruins marriages. It doesn't ruin marriages. Well, something like that might, because if you're losing money and let's say that your spouse is heavily invested in this MLM and you're starting to see the warning signs, but that other person is fully indoctrinated into this MLM, that can really, really ruin a marriage. That can just destroy it and destroy a family. That I couldn't believe it when I read that. So then there was a response to the ex-rep that said, so it can go either way. If, for example, the man wants to get out, but the woman doesn't, he is stuck. The ex-rep replied, yes. Also, there's an alert in the system, so when you're in your account and you so much as click on the link to download this form for printing, it sends an alert to your upline so they can bully you into staying. That I'm not surprised about because a lot of reps if you've been here for a while, you know my Mary Kay story and you know how I left Mary Kay. And even Beachbody, I was talked back into it. Mary Kay, I was talked back into it as well. But finally, with Mary Kay, my upline said she would buy my inventory off of me so that I wouldn't have to return it back to the company, especially because she would buy it off of me for what I bought it for. Whereas with Mary Kay, I forget the exact percentage, but if you return it to the company, you don't get 100% refund. You get, I can't remember. I really can't remember, and it might have even changed since then. So if any ex-Mary Kay reps are watching this, leave it in the comment section below. But my upline, she was just blowing me off. She was ghosting me and she wasn't talking to me. So finally, I had enough and I said, you know what? I'm just going to cancel all of this. I'm going to return all of my inventory because I can't just keep sitting here hoping to sell this product. I'm not selling it and it's going to be expired by the time that I'm even able to sell something else or build a team. So my upline immediately, as soon as I got all of the paperwork and I was getting everything all together, same thing. She reached out to me. And then with Beachbody, I told my upline that I was thinking of leaving because I wasn't making money and it was taking too much of my time, and that I had other things that were going on in my life that I just didn't have time for Beachbody. I still had a full-time job and I still had my blog full-time. So for me, it was too much. It was too much and my mental health was really suffering at that point. So I got bombarded by not just my upline, but my upline's upline on like a 3-way call, and we all talked about it and they talked me back into staying with the company. So that portion of it, I'm not surprised that that happens at all. However, to bring it back to paparazzi and to close this video off with paparazzi, I wanted to share a comment from a paparazzi rep that I got on an older paparazzi reaction video. Well, not older, but it's from last summer, so in my eyes, that's old. I know some people are like, oh, that's not old, but so many things have happened since then that it's just, it feels like a long time ago. But anyway, appreciate the free advertising. You talking about the MLM is still a contribution, whether it is negative or positive. You could have had a team by now. So I responded with, I was feeling a little annoyed at this point. No thanks. I'd rather educate people on the harms of these scams rather than be actively scamming people and possibly be putting more people into debt. Which the rep, of course, didn't respond. But how is that free advertising for the rep? Please explain that to me, because I'm talking about paparazzi. I'm talking about another rep. I'm talking about why paparazzi is bad. Yeah, some people believe that bad publicity is still publicity. I mean, that's how a lot of celebrities are still around. We all see some of these influencers as well that get called out for nonsense, but they're still relevant, they're still big, and some of them, in my opinion, do it on purpose to get more publicity. There's the whole thing about how certain influencers or certain people on YouTube, they always start drama around a release of something, whether it be makeup, music, whatever. So I get that there are people out there that believe bad publicity is still publicity, but I'm not providing you, the rep, free advertising. It's, if you even want to call it free advertising, let's just, for the sake of this part of the video, free advertising. That's going to Paparazzi, the company itself, because nobody knows about you. The only reason why they know about you is because you commented on my video right now. But when you go to her profile, there's really no information about her with paparazzi and stuff like that. So how are people gonna go ahead and order from you? And why are you saying appreciate the free advertising? It's not, I'm not talking about you directly. So what? It's just mind-boggling to me. And then to end it with the whole, you could have had a team by now. No, I would much rather, as I said in my comment, I would much rather educate people on these MLM companies and the harms of these MLM companies than be in one. I was in two of them. So I know how it works. I'd rather sit here and educate people. Do I make a lot off of AdSense? No, I don't. I really, truly don't. I know some people think that YouTubers and content creators, they make a ton of money, but I don't. And so there's that. But that's not the point of my channel. The point of my channel is to educate people, is to show people the harms of these companies, is to be an advocate. That's the point of this channel. I didn't start my anti-MLM content because I wanted to make money. I binge watched anti-MLM content and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to put my story out there. And maybe it'll help someone, maybe it won't. I'll probably only get 10 views on it, if that. And I got way more than 10 views on it, and I had people asking me, can you continue to make videos? So I did, and that's where we are today. That was in September of 2019 that I shared my story. My first video, my terrible, terrible quality video that you could barely hear me in, but for whatever reason, people wanted me to keep spreading education and awareness. So no thank you. I do not want a downline. I'm okay with creating these videos and having my own real business where I don't have to recruit people to keep my paycheck at a higher amount, because we have employees at our business. Because of that, we have to pay our employees. So it would actually be more beneficial for us financially, if you really think about it, to not have those employees. But we need those employees in order for the business to function. So, but we're not out here recruiting them to build our downline. We're here to have our employees to help us do a job. So it's one of those things where it's such a backwards way of thinking. And yeah, no thanks. I'm good with MLMs. I never want to join one again, especially after all of the research I've done over the past over a year. No thank you. But this video is a little longer than I originally expected it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a quicker video. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know, have you ever been terminated from an MLM company, or do you know someone who's been terminated from an MLM company? Because the amount of people that I've seen throughout the past over a year of making this content, of educating people, of having people reach out to me, is a lot more than I originally expected. So You guys let me know if this has ever happened to you or if you know someone that this has happened to. And yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And this is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye!